Those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, the flame, the sword.
Hayden T is an incredible performer with a powerful voice who hails from the north of New Zealand. This talented man is currently in Auckland playing the role of Javert in the musical Les Miserables. This week, Hayden sat down with me to talk about that role and his new album. Hayden T, fantastic to meet you once again, because I met you on the stage of Les Mis just last week.
Yeah, it was opening night, I think.
Yeah, how's it been going?
It's been going really well. The audience have been amazing. I was really nervous. I've done this show a lot over the world and played this role a lot, but coming home is a little stressful. I felt the pressure. I was like, imagine if, you know, everyone in the world has loved it and I get these amazing reviews and I come home to New Zealand, which I haven't done for over a decade, and I get panned. but the audiences have been amazing and warm, and the reviewers have been lovely, and I'm having the best time.
I was blown away by the quality of it.
Oh, bless you.
Like, everybody was amazing. Even you. You did well. You came home and you did well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me about Javert, and because he's, at heart, he's a good man, but he's really not.
No, he really is. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with him, so the filter I see him through in my optics of Javert may be different to most people, but I think of him as, and I think you do when you have to play an antagonist, you have to think of that person as the hero. But the thing with Javert is he isn't privy to all the things the audience sees. He doesn't see that Valjean does this amazing thing and saves Fantine, or doesn't save her, but, you know, looks after her daughter. He doesn't see any of that. So to him, he just sees this man who broke the law, stole something, went to jail, and then broke parole. So that's, you know, it's just black and white to him.
And I have to say, you have an amazing, amazing voice. I've been listening to your new album, which we'll get to in a minute. When were you aware that you had this voice and you wanted to do something?
Look, I started when I was 14 up north at Odomater Repertory Theatre, the Repertory Theatre where I came from, and I remember my first singing teacher told me, you can't really sing, but if you work really hard, I could get you into the chorus of an amateur musical, which I just kind of felt like at that point in time, that was really the little thing I needed. I was like, hold on a second, you're telling me what I can't do? I'm absolutely going to do this. So this entire career started as I'll prove you wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then of course, once you start doing something, and I fell in love with the community, really.
So let's talk about the album, Face to Face. I just had to check then, you know, my memory, you know, not what it used to be. So a mixture of songs from different musicals, some of which I have not heard. So one or two. Obviously a couple from Les Mis, Stars, which you do so beautifully in Les Miserables.
Thank you.
Why did you pick these particular ones?
I wanted to have some like standards, musical theatre standards, and I also want to have some obscure stuff, because I know when I pick something, I want an album that has stuff that I haven't heard before, or interesting stuff that doesn't get recorded very often and isn't really, well, it is immortalised, they have cast recordings, but things that aren't done as much. And then, of course, I knew that it has to be on some level commercial, so it has to sell, it has to appeal to people. And a lot of my friends, because a lot of my other albums tend to be a bit more obscure, said, please put on a couple of songs for that 14-year-old Hayden who grew up in this town that would order these CDs online. And, well, I don't even know if online really existed then, but they would certainly arrive in the post. There was no CD shop in Mangataroto. Put something on, some of the standard songs. So that I really also wanted to do a lot of the big composers. So Berlin Schomburg, Lloyd Webber. I wanted to tick some of those off, and then also some of the obscure stuff like Adam Gettel and you know, Tim Minchin, stuff like that. So I think, and then when I had a very long list with my musical director, we kind of tried to look for a theme in there. And the theme definitely tended to be antagonists and rebels, which a lot of my career I've been playing antagonists and villains, which I'm really quite soft and bubbly as a person, and I'm always playing the aggressive roles that have given a gun or a sword fight or something, of which I find both very challenging.
But satisfying though?
Oh, very satisfying. And it's wonderful because I get to completely escape Hayden and inhabit someone else, and that's quite cathartic, and I really enjoy that escapism. I
wanted to ask you about The Smell of Rebellion, which of course is from Matilda, and you have played Ms. Trunchbull on stage. A fantastic role.
It's a wonderful role.
Yeah, just tell me a little bit more about that, because I imagine it must be an absolute joy to play.
It is a joy. It's also the hardest role I've ever played, physically, mentally, in every possible way. It's a hard role. I think, and I probably am getting a little, not anxious, but fidgety talking about her, because the thing I love about Javert is he's not a villain, or I can get away with not seeing him that way, but with her she is.
She's awful.
She does bad things for bad reasons and just to get pleasure out of them, and that kind of played with my mind a little bit after a while.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'm not method, I don't become the character.
Yeah.
I definitely switch in and out backstage, but
it provides the comedy, the really strong comedy. So maybe thinking about that may sway. And you didn't really kill anyone or put
No.
The chokey didn't
That's why
really.
we go through so many children, because I actually kill them as we go through the season.
I saw the blood running down across the stage at one point.
Exactly. Oh, some of them I wanted to kill. No, I'm joking. Yeah. They were all lovely. Matilda was birth control for me. I no longer want children.
Now, there is a cliche about musical theatre that all the men are gay. Now, in your case, you are.
Yes, very much so.
I know it's not really true, but how have you found being gay in theatre?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's the most accepting place in the world. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with it. It's this community of misfits where you can be completely authentic. When I first started going to amateur theatre when I was 14 years old, I loved that because I didn't know I was gay then. Well, I did, but I obviously hadn't quite formed that in my head what that meant. But this was a community of misfits where everyone was a little bit different, a little bit off centre, and it was okay and it was fine. So one of the reasons why I do this is because I feel at home. Saying that, it's changed a lot in 20 years. I've been a professional actor now for 20 years, and it's now, if anything, more straight than it was gay, which is also amazing, because it still has that community feel. It's just that it's no longer based in sexuality, if that makes sense. Yeah. And also, you can't tell now because everyone's metrosexual.
Fair
Sometimes I'm the butchest person in a cast. Imagine.
Hayden's new album, Face to Face, is available right now on many online music stores, including iTunes. I'm Andrew Whiteside. Thanks for watching.
Filling the darkness